Good morning, everybody. It is about 11:35 in the morning on Monday. It is Labor Day, so I have the day off from work today, which is nice. I slept in until about 11 o'clock, and then I got up and I took a shower and took care of Oscar and everything, so I am fully awake now. Oh, but I felt so good to just sleep in. I don't do that very often anymore. But today starts a new week, so we got a lot of stuff going on. First of which being that the fact that I have Labor Day means I can do a lot of reading uninterrupted. We're going to finish Long Live the Pumpkin Queen first, and then we're going to get started with the next book that I have for this week, which is The Daughter of Doctor Moreau. This is going to take me a few days to get through with my reading schedule. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen is accounting for a couple different things with Wheel of D20 and Bookoplothon. Hello, Oscar. Apparently he really wants my attention right now. Long Live the Pumpkin Queen is completing a couple different prompts. One for Wheel of D20, which is to read an adaptation, since this is a sequel adaptation to the story of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Bookoplothon, this is counting for the autumn prompt because it has massive autumn vibes. It actually takes place a couple of weeks before Halloween, which is perfect. So very excited to finish this up. I've been really enjoying it, and you can hear my full thoughts on it in my Wheel of D20 video. Daughter of Doctor Moreau is also counting for a couple different things. Wheel of D20, this will be completing my final spin I needed to complete for the wheel, which is to read a recently bought book. And then for Bookoplothon, this was to read a book that was in third person. And I had originally said in my September TBR that this was Princess's book club pick for the month, and I was wrong. I don't know if I ever stated that in last week's vlog or not, but that is wrong. Her book club pick is actually Babel by R.F. Kuang. This I got confused with because during a live stream they were talking about this, but it was in reference to another person's book club pick. So I thought that that was the case for Princess, but it is not. So I did still though want to read this anyway, so I thought that this was perfect because it kind of already was going to kill a couple birds with one stone. There's another thing I would like to be able to get through this week, which will probably take out the last part of the week for me going into the beginning of next week, and that's going to be A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is the final book so far in the Court of Thorns and Roses world. This is a secondary series following Feyre's sister Nesta's point of view, and I'm excited for this because we got a little bit of her perspective in A Court of Frost and Starlight, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to see kind of how she goes because apparently for a lot of people this is a book that a lot of your perspective about Nesta does change because you learn a lot more about her over the course of the story. I will be focusing on this after I get through The Daughter of Doctor Moreau, and like I said, this will probably take up the bulk of this week once I can finish this one, because this will take me about till Wednesday to get through, and then the rest of the week will be basically dedicated to A Court of Silver Flames. And then the only other thing that I will be working on, because it is basically the back burner book and the thing to read once my reading goal is finished for this week, is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've been working on this for my Finish Your DNF series, so hopefully I'll be able to get through more of this week. Currently still right now on page 58. I am now in the third part of this book, so hopefully we can get through quite a few more sections of this by the end of the week if I can keep up with my reading schedule. Well, alright, so Oscar is being very impatient, so I think he needs to go on his walk today, or at least his afternoon one, and then maybe that'll get some energy out of him, because I think he just really needs to get some energy out, since this is usually the time we go on one and during the day. So I'm gonna go take care of him and go give him what he wants, and then we will come back home, and I think I will spend the rest of the afternoon going into the evening basically doing reading sprints. Hey guys, so it's now 3:47 in the afternoon. I had my plans a little bit derailed earlier just because I had my husband's parents come over. They basically were coming to drop off a couple chairs they borrowed while they were camping, and they hung out with us for a little bit. And I also cleaned up the house a little bit today, so just been tired, and I don't know, just I've been really grumpy today and tired, but like I can't fall asleep. So I did end up finishing the last 61 pages of Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shea Ernshaw, and I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. I ended up just really enjoying it overall. I think that like the end of it kind of got a little slow for me, and I just kind of was losing focus because nothing was keeping me super engaged until like the very end, but I really did like a lot of what this was going for in terms of like expanding the world and expanding kind of the new ideas going into this. But all my thoughts of this are going to be in my Wheel of D20 vlog, because this was counting for the adaptation prompt for Wheel of D20. So I'm down to my last prompt for the month already, 5 days in, which is very exciting. But yeah, really did enjoy this. But today I will be working through also a little bit of The Daughter of Doctor Moreau by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I'll be getting through like 77 pages of this basically. I don't know if I'll be able to update again tonight just because I don't know if I'm gonna have any time, and I'm just really tired. I'm honestly really about ready to take a nap, like actually fall asleep for a little bit. So I think I may do that and then read some more tonight. But wanted to update you guys that I did finish the books already this week. So it's exciting, and I'm going to end off the rest of my Labor Day with just kind of relaxing and probably going to sleep for a little bit. So anyway, I will talk to all of you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. It is just after 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was going through my social media, taking a break real quick just so I could catch up on all the notifications because I hadn't really used my phone at all this morning until now. And I just noticed I had 600 subscribers. I'm sure that by the time this video goes out, it will have dipped back down, but I'm so happy. I have been waiting for this. Every year for the last nearly 7 years that I've been on YouTube, I have earned 100 subscribers. And I was thinking for the longest time that like this year it wasn't going to happen, that during my 6th full year it wasn't going to end up happening because I was stuck at like, I don't even know, probably like 550 by the time I was hitting my 6-year anniversary back in February. I hit 600. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so happy. Y'all have no idea. Like, especially since having put myself in the position where I want to continue to make content 3 times a week on YouTube, trying to post more on TikTok and Instagram, and making my podcast every single week. It's only been like just over a month since I made that decision, and I've been doing that, and I'm so proud of all the hard work I've done because even though some things have slipped, like my TikTok and my Instagram, I've been consistently able at the very least to put out 3 videos a week for the last month and a podcast episode every single week for the last month. And I have been feeling so proud of myself for that fact. I feel so happy that I decided that I wanted to do that, and I honestly cannot thank you guys enough. I really appreciate all of you guys that have been here for however long you have, because without you, I would not be here. And I feel just so grateful, and I'm just so happy. I can't even. Like, I know it doesn't seem like much because I'm still like a quote-unquote smaller YouTuber, you know, whatever that means, but I am just so happy to see that I've consistently been able to get 100 subscribers every single year, even if it's, you know, short-lived or whatever. You know, I'm just proud of the fact that I actually can see the number on my YouTube studio right now, and like, y'all don't know how much it means to me. You really don't. So it just means I'm one step closer to being able to get myself monetized. I mean, I've got still 400 subscribers to go till I hit that point, and so many hours of watch time still. Like, I think I'm still only like a quarter of the way to getting the watch time I need. But regardless if that never happens, I'm just proud of the fact that I've been able to put out the content I've been able to and work so hard for it and feel like I'm doing, you know, the absolute best I can. And that makes me feel so proud of myself, because for the longest time I thought that I wasn't really being able to put much effort into things. But I don't know, just today I feel very happy to see that. And I posted a couple TikToks last night in the last couple of days, and they've done actually kind of okay. Like, I had a lot of people overnight, a lot meaning like up to like 20 people basically, like the TikToks I made. And I got like 8 or 9 followers last night on my TikTok, which was a little nuts. That hasn't happened yet for me. Like, it's not necessarily anything viral or whatever, but the fact that it's reaching out to more people is really good. Like, that makes me feel very happy. So I don't know, I'm just feeling very all kinds of warm and gushy on the inside, because, like, again, I didn't expect that to happen. I was sitting on like that $5.98, $5.99 for like a few days, and I was like, oh, it's possible, it could happen any day now. to hit 600, and it did today as of this morning, so I'm just very, very happy. So thank you everybody that's been here, that is new here. I really appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea, and I'm excited to see where things go from here. I'm just all kinds of excited. I'm all kinds of happy and goofy feeling, and I just anyway, so today I have been slowly working through more of the Daughter of Doctor Moreau. This is kind of my main focus, other than later this week what I'll be reading, but I'm currently on page 96 of this, and my thoughts are going to be more so in my Wheel of D20 vlog, as I've said before. But I did want to give you guys a little bit of an update too, just because I have been reading. I'm finding that this is a little bit harder for me to go through, which I was expecting, because the last book I read was a young adult that was really fast to fly through, whereas this one I'm having to like take my time and read this a little bit more. My camera very rudely cut me off there because my battery died, but what I was saying is that this is definitely something where like the writing is a little bit more complicated, because it's, for one, an adult story, but two, it is playing on, again, that like 19th century world, so the language is a little bit more complicated. It's not necessarily like wowing me by any means. I think that I'm kind of still getting into the real story, and honestly, like, there's not much that has happened. The whole first part was looking at a specific time period in Carlotta's life where she's like 14, and you start to see kind of the things that are going on in the world, how Montgomery comes into play, which is one of our other characters, and he's the other perspective in this, and kind of like how he gets himself set up with the laboratory and working with the hybrids and all that. And then it jumps forward about 6 years later in the second part, where Carlotta is 20 years old. She's a young woman kind of coming up in the world, and there are these people that are explained in the synopsis that come to the island, I guess, or just at least the isolated land that the Moreaus are living on, and it turns out that they are the son of the main benefactor of the entire project that Dr. Moreau is working on. And Carlotta kind of takes a shining to him, not like 100%, like she thinks he's very attractive, obviously, but we learn that like Dr. Moreau is looking to possibly marry off Carlotta to Eduardo, because of the fact that the benefactor, Mr. Lizald, he is not happy with the fact that Dr. Moreau is not really showing any progress with his experiments, because unfortunately many of the hybrids, although they are living and are able to live for longer periods of time, they're not giving exactly what Lizald is looking for. They're not working as well. Some of the older ones are starting to break down a little faster because they are much older, and he's just not able to basically create more hybrids that are similar to the ones that have, you know, been able to exist for as long as they have. And so Dr. Moreau starts to think that maybe marrying off Carlotta would be in his best interest, so that at the very least he would then still be able to accrue some kind of monetary gain from her being basically married to the Lizalds. But nothing's really gone that far as of yet. But Montgomery, we also learn, is a very troubled man. He has had a hard life going forward. You learn that he had an alcoholic father, and this is all stuff like you learn within his first chapter, basically, that he had an alcoholic father that he basically ran away from and went to go work with his uncle working on machinery. And in that, he met his former wife, Fanny, who then because she was not basically getting the things that she wanted from the marriage, which included basically monetary-based things, she ended up essentially leaving Montgomery, who then also became an alcoholic over the course of time, and he's basically been trying to live on his own. Fanny is no longer like really married to him. They're basically in a sense divorced, even though I don't think they actually went through any kind of divorce proceedings that would have been around at that time. But he goes to Dr. Moreau to try to obtain a job because he needs a new job. He needs something to, you know, work for, and Montgomery has some skills that Dr. Moreau thinks will be very helpful with basically running the hybrids and essentially making things a little bit more organized so that they can actually kind of create a civilization there for them. And Carlotta and him kind of have like this weird back and forth where like Montgomery obviously is like much older. When he arrives at the home of the Moreaus, he's 29. So by the time we get to the second part, he's like 35-ish, and so he's like 15 years older than Carlotta, and it's like they kind of have this like almost sibling dynamic in a way, like they kind of poke fun at each other, but I do believe that it is possible that this could end up becoming the actual romance of the story, which I don't know 100% for certain. I'm not that far into the book, but it's kind of got that vibe going on with it. So anyway, I want to reserve more of my thoughts though for my Wheel of D20 vlog, since that's going to be in that, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of context within it in terms of the setup of it, because I feel like right now, like I said, there's not much that's happened plot-wise, but there have been some developments in terms of like possible avenues of plot to go for. And on top of all that, Carlotta is very involved with the things that go on with the hybrids. She helps her father with taking care of them, and so like that's a really big thing, and she doesn't necessarily want to leave her home because of the fact that like she loves being there, she loves working with the hybrids, she loves working with her father, and so like there is going to probably be some kind of inner turmoil of going to possibly marry somebody that would be helpful to her family, kind of as a sense of duty kind of thing, and the struggle of that versus staying home with her father to help him and being more involved with the hybrids and learning some of the darker secrets that there might be involved with the hybrids themselves. But anyway, I need to get back to doing a little bit of work because I've taken a long enough break, but I did want to update you guys on the reading for that and the fact that I got 600 subscribers. I'm so excited. So thank you again, everybody who has come and hung out with me and that is new. I appreciate it, and I hope that you enjoy whatever other content I have coming out. So I'm going to get going now, and I'll update you guys a little bit later. Good morning, everybody. It is about 9:25 in the morning. I initially woke up this morning with a very sore throat and didn't know if I was going to be able to talk much, but thankfully that went away. I've just been snoring a lot recently because my allergies have been all kinds of goofed up, or whatever you want to say. Based on my allergies, we are officially in the transition between summer and fall. It's already been getting a lot cooler. It's been actually about around, I don't know, maybe max 75 degrees over the last like handful of days. It is going to get warmer here as the week goes on. It'll get up to like the mid 80s, but we are experiencing a lot of really cool days, and so that kind of leads me to believe with it being September, we're going to start getting ready to go into fall. I do believe technically fall starts later this month, like the 20th or something like that. But yeah, so we're getting ready to transition into that, which means my allergies make my nose really stuffy. It dries out my nose super, super bad. And so I get really stuffy and congested. And that goes on usually until around probably mid-October sometimes, which sucks because then I snore a lot and I wake up with sore throats. But thankfully, with the fact that I've been drinking liquids, mostly coffee, mind you, like don't get me wrong, it has helped my throat clear up a little bit, which is nice. So I do feel like I can actually talk. But last night I did get to my reading goal, which was to reach page 219 in The Daughter of Doctor Moreau. I have about 60 some pages left of this, and I should be able to finish it today. That's the goal. And then today we will be starting also A Court of Silver Flames. So that'll be very nice. I also, though, yesterday managed to read about 100 pages of A Darker Shade of Magic. I'm going to be filming a clip for my Finisher DNF series here real soon for that. So far, I'm liking it, so there's that. I think that this is going to turn out a lot better than from Blood and Ash, I will say, but I'm still not, like, vibing with it too much, but I'm interested enough to continue to see the story, but at this point, it's still, like, nothing's really happened 100% at this point, so... but then with Daughter of Doctor Moreau, that's going pretty okay. There's been some big reveals that have happened that I won't say I was surprised by, but I was interested in how it was going to play out, if that makes sense. Because they were not necessarily predictable twists or predictable things that, you know, like, yes, I did think that they were going to happen, but they didn't come about in the way I was expecting, if that makes sense. I do think on Saturday I'm going to get in touch with my friend Teresa because we haven't talked in like several weeks since I think around my birthday, just because we've both been super, super busy with life and stuff, and so it's been like absolute chaos. Like, you know, you just have those people in your life where, like, you love to talk to them and want to talk to them all the time, but then things kind of just go haywire and you forget that you need to talk to them. Like, that happens with a lot of my friends on a regular basis. But I've been trying to get back in touch with other people because, like, last weekend I was working with Adrian Liv on stuff for Battle of the Bookish stuff, which I was very excited about. Which reminds me, I need to write down something for probably this weekend to be working on that, because there's some things I still need to do to help prepare for the announcement. Basically, I have to just come up with some story ideas and do some writing for the first time in a while, which should be fun. It's not like I can't write anymore, I just don't. But I'm really inspired with this readathon that we've got going on for October. It's going to be a short week-long readathon, but it does involve a lot of moving parts. So I'm excited, but I gotta get that figured out. Otherwise, not much has really happened in the last couple of days. It's kind of just been get done with work, have dinner with Robert, and watch The Sopranos for the upteenth millionth time, because that is one of his comfort shows, and it is something that I do enjoy watching from time to time as well. And kind of just after dinner doing our own thing. Usually by around 8:30 he's exhausted because he has to be at work at 7 a.m. now, so he usually goes and lays in bed and falls asleep by around like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I'm usually up anywhere between 11 and midnight because I just got in the habit of being awake until midnight with sprints and stuff. But that does remind me that Bree is probably going to be hosting sprints tonight, so I think I might join in on that either in chat, or if she invites me to the stream, I will do that. But that'll be a great way for me to get some reading in today. Later this week, probably tomorrow, I will be getting a new desk chair. That is something I can share with you guys, because that's an update. So yeah, this old gaming chair that I've had for over 2 years is gonna go away. It's gonna go in the garage at the very least, and I will be getting a new desk chair tomorrow. I've been meaning to get one for a while, and when we had bought the other desk that Robert was trying to build before ending up getting this one, I decided that the refund money I was going to get for that desk was going to go to a desk chair. And I couldn't find one that I really liked, and none that, like, I wanted to, like, be able to test out stuff. So this past weekend I had gone, while I was out grocery shopping, to Office Depot, and I found one that I really liked that was actually really cheap, and it was on sale. It was like $200 off the normal price, and it was like a nearly $300 chair, so I got it for like just over $100. And that was like a huge thing, because obviously with back to school stuff and all that, like, they had a lot of stuff that was on sale at Office Depot, and it was a pretty regular chair. It wasn't like anything fancy. It's not like a gaming chair like this. It was more like a normal office chair that has like a mesh back to it, and so it's a little bit more flexible. It can lean back a little bit, but it was super comfortable. The seat was very comfortable, and with the mesh back, felt much more like something I would be willing to sit in for a long time. This still works okay, but you can tell as you're sitting in it that the padding is going, and like it's been going for a while. So I was really happy to be able to get that desk chair this past weekend. I ordered it because they didn't have any in stock that day. And I just got the email this morning that is shipped out and should be delivered by tomorrow. They said sometime between Wednesday and this coming Monday, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Even if it doesn't get here until next week, it's fine, because with Labor Day they had to obviously like adhere to, you know, shipping things like that, because stuff sometimes doesn't get shipped on holidays, even if it's not through like the post office. I also have an order that got shipped from Acorn and Crow Studio, which I'm really excited for. I participated in their 2-year anniversary sale in August, and I've been waiting for it for like a month, which is normal because they get such a high volume of orders. Their processing time is like 3 to 4 weeks. And yesterday I got an email saying that my order finally shipped, and I should be getting it sometime, if not this week, then next week, and I'm really excited. And oh, I just can't wait, because there's so many good things in there that I'm so excited for. I got more notebooks, I got more bookmarks, and I'm so excited. I will talk to all you guys later when I have some kind of an update. Probably when I get my chair tomorrow, that'll be when I update you, because I don't think there's anything else going on today that I need to update you on at all. But I definitely will let you guys know when I get my chair and when we get it all set up. Well, look what arrived, apparently a full day early. So this is the chair I got. Oscar's currently sniffing the box to make sure it's safe. But yeah, so like I was saying, it's got basically a mesh back. It sits about probably just under my head, but otherwise the seat is really comfortable, and I think this is supposed to be pretty easy to put together. So I think I'm gonna put this together now. All right, Oscar, let's get started. Okay, so that was a bit of an ordeal and a half, but I have it all made now. My battery died as I was working on it, so I didn't get the chance to film the entire process of making it, but it was an ordeal, I'll just say. But let me show you kind of what it is, because it's currently covered up by a blanket, but it does have the mesh back. Like I said, this is something that's a little bit more rigid than the chair I had before, where like I could move the back of it backwards, but it is mesh, so it does kind of bend back to where I need it without feeling like, you know, I'm gonna tip over and fall, which is nice. The only thing was that basically I couldn't really find anything that had that ability to fully bend back in any way, but this one does, you know, raise and lower, and it actually sits fairly high, which is better because the chair that we had wasn't really sitting as high as I wanted it, so like reaching my keyboard and stuff was a lot harder. So basically, with it sitting a little bit higher, it makes it easier for me now to feel like my keyboard isn't sitting up higher, which would put strain on my shoulders and on my back. So with this though too, it makes it easier for me to be able to actually raise the stand that my laptop sits on, so that things are a little bit more eye level. Because before, the chair I used to have didn't really like to raise all that much, and so it would cause a lot of strain in my back and in my shoulders. So I feel like now this is a little bit more of a comfortable position. My husband is now calling me, so I will have to go, but I'll talk to you guys later. Good morning, guys. It is just after 9 a.m. on Thursday. I am tired. I stayed up way too late last night. I was up till about 12:30 because I was watching Breeze Sprints, and it was a very heated, very interesting set of conversations that took place in Breeze Sprints. If you know, you know. But oh man, it was a time. So they didn't even get to do like the final sprint until like after midnight, and I basically got to my reading goal and I said, fuck it, I'm going to bed because I am exhausted. And I slept great overnight, but like I just did not want to get out of bed this morning. But I wanted to update you guys because last night during the first sprint that we did for Breeze Sprints, I did finally finish The Daughter of Doctor Moreau by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. It was my intention to finish this yesterday, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. My full thoughts will be in my Wheel of D20 vlog, but what I will say here is that I feel like I really enjoyed this for a lot of reasons. I loved the way that basically we took the story of the island of Dr. Moreau and didn't really change too much of it. It's just more of like we added in the fact that there's a daughter involved and some of the twists that were involving said daughter and how exactly she, you know, was born and all these things were really interesting. And ultimately the end of this was pretty intense. There was some very disturbing things that happened at the very end of this that I was kind of shocked to see. I had not expected things to get as violent as they did toward the end of this, but again, was understandably done. Like, I totally understand why it happened. I understand why Silvia decided to go this route with it. So really, if anything, this is more of an extension, like I said before, of the story of the island of Dr. Moreau, and it kind of just basically takes it and puts it on its head in a sense where some things are the same for sure, like the core of it is the same with the idea of the hybrids and Dr. Moreau being the one that created the hybrids for a specific purpose, but there's other things involved with it that I think are brought up because of the fact that there's a daughter involved and the relationship that he has to the helper he hires that comes into this island per se. Like if we're talking like in comparison to the island of Dr. Moreau, in the island of Dr. Moreau there's a character who washes up on shore and finds the island that Dr. Moreau has all the hybrids on, but here we have Montgomery, who is playing that kind of a character, who is hired in by the doctor to take on and help take care of all the hybrids. And so like that kind of changes the dynamic too of their relationship. As well as his relationship to other characters in this story. So I really like the way that Silvia had kind of twisted the story a little bit to fit better with her particular setup of it, which, again, I really appreciate. I think it was done really well. I will say it took me a little bit to get into. It took me a little bit of time to get used to the writing style because the writing style, like I said before, was a little bit more, I guess, involved than I had expected. I didn't expect it to feel as historical as it did. Like, she's got a very beautiful writing style that fits very well with this time period, but it wasn't something I was expecting exactly. I felt that I was kind of still expecting a little bit more of a simplistic nature of writing, and that wasn't the case. Completing my last Wheel of D20 prompt for a recently purchased book. For Bookoplothon, this was completing the prompt for a book in third person, as both of the perspectives we get in the story are told in a third person format. So very easy to get that down. But yeah, the Wheel of D20 is now done for the month of September, and we're 8 days in, and I have only a couple more prompts from Bookoplothon that were like 100% set in terms of like the fact that I did the rolls before the month. And I do think that I'm going to complete all of my Bookoplothon rolls because I'm currently on my next Bookoplothon read, and then after this I have one more. And so I think that by the time I finish the last one, I'll probably do another roll to see if any of the other books I have slated for the end of September will fit whatever it is that I have on the board. Or at the very least, maybe what I will do is if none of those fit, then I will pick like a graphic novel or something that'll hopefully like fill in those prompts, because of the fact that I don't want to put on like another full-length novel that I hadn't already prepared for. And if one of my Darker Shade Magic books will work for any of the prompts too, that would actually be even better because I'm already working on them. It'll just kind of put that more at a precedent. What I'm working on right now is A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. This is going to be completing the prompt for pattern and text on the cover for Bookoplothon. And this is also currently the Court of Thorns and Roses read-along book that Princess from Castle Library has been hosting, and this is the final book that there currently is in the world of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I'm really sad about that because I loved reading this series so much, and I have no idea when the next book's going to come out. This takes place after everything that happens in A Court of Wings and Ruin, and even A Court of Frost and Starlight, where we started to see some of Vesta's perspective. And I got through the first like 60 pages of this last night, and already I can see that this is going to be probably a bit of a tearjerker because already we learn a lot about how exactly Nesta had felt during A Court of Wings and Ruin and being in the cauldron and everything surrounding around that, and a lot of the fear and resentment in some ways that she has for her sister Feyre, and the fact that she doesn't feel like she is good enough to be associated with them. She thinks that she's not strong enough to deal with a lot of the things that they had done, that what she experienced is basically what I would say is some form of massive PTSD, and she's been drinking a lot, she's been sleeping around with people, she's been, using up Feyre and Rhysand's money, and so in this first 60 pages we learn that basically she's being cut off from Feyre and Rhysand's money and is being sent to train with her possible mate Cassian. I don't know, I just feel like this is a wonderful series. I'm so glad I got into it this year and that I'll be finishing it up to this point this year because of the fact that I spent so long not even really thinking much about it, kind of feeling like it might have been overhyped. And while the first book was not my the best out of the series, it definitely was really good and really left me with a good impression of the series. And I loved Mist and Fury and Wings and Ruin so much. And I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy Silver Flames a lot. Even if it's not going to be a 5-star, I think I'm still going to really enjoy it because I've just really grown to love this world and what Sarah has done with this story in terms of the progression of the characters. I feel like Feyre was so well developed by the end of the series, and I feel like I really started to understand Rhysand a lot more by the end of the series, and I just really came to appreciate how determined and full of love he is. And I'm just excited to see Nesta get a happy ending, hopefully by the end of this, because Nesta, while her actions are not redeemable by any means of what she did to Feyre and she's done to everybody else, there obviously is something about her that is really hard to swallow. Okay. There's a lot of... So I just finished filming real quick. This is the ceiling. This is part of the ceiling for my library. If you don't know, I have kind of a triangle ceiling going on in here that makes it very hard sometimes to, deal with, because sometimes I forget, if I'm down here, my bookshelf, that, it's so low at one point, I end up hitting my head. I can't tell you how many times I have hit my head on these damn ceilings, but anyway, I just finished filming the rolls for the Wheel of D20. It's currently after 5 o'clock now. Right after I finished up work, I had a call from someplace that I applied for a job, and they're looking to possibly maybe interview me. They kind of did the courtesy call, basically, where it's just talking about, your application. It sounded like the questionnaire I had to send in for them, in addition to my resume, was really good, or they liked it at the very least. I don't really know how many people have applied for this position in general. It'll probably involve me having to work a lot more face-to-face with people. It is something I think I will have to be going into the office for, which is going to be weird because I have not had an actual in-office position in about 2.5, a little more than that, years. March will be 3 years since I've actually had to fully be in an office environment since the pandemic, which is kind of nuts. I've only had to go in the office once in the entire time that I have been working from home, and the one time I did back in January was weird beyond belief. So you can imagine my kind of hesitancy just because of the fact that it's not ideal for me because of the fact that my husband also works outside of the home, and that then means that Oscar's not going to have somebody at home. So it's going to be a bit of a trial, honestly, if I do end up getting a position outside of my home. But I know it will be fine. We will deal with it. We will get Oscar used to the idea that neither of his parents will be home on a regular basis, all the time. I just don't know how he's going to deal with it because he is very attached, and that's unfortunately been the case because I've been working from home his entire life that he's been here. He just turned 10 months old, and ever since we got him at the end of January, I have been home with him all day, every day for the most part. And so it's going to be really weird for all of us, especially me, because of the fact that, I may be able to come see him, on my lunch hour and, go take him out, maybe take him for a walk or something. But nonetheless, it's still going to be really freaking weird if I do get an office job. And I know that, like, it's going to be for the best. It's going to hopefully be a little bit more money than what I'm making now, if I even get the position, because let's not forget the fact that I haven't even interviewed for this job yet, but it sounds promising at the very least. So, I don't know. I'm nervous. Like, I'm already getting the anxiety because of the fact that, like, this is the first place that's actually called me for an interview of any kind. I mean, I'm hoping for the best, you know, keep your fingers crossed for me, for something at the very least, but I'm already getting anxiety even thinking about the fact that I'm going to have to, at one point, probably, if I get a new job, leave the house. I'm just not used to it now. I was working in my office environment for all of maybe 9 months before I ended up having to work from home indefinitely. And then I was told that I could go back to the office, but ever since we moved out here, which is now like an hour and a half plus drive to the office, they're like, you don't have to really come in. It's okay. Like, the only time I had to was because I had to move my desk that was at the office. I just scooted over, basically, because they were rearranging the seating of everybody for better work productivity, stuff like that. And so, like, that was the only time I ever had to go in. And it was only so that I could do something for 20 minutes, but I had to be there the whole day. So it was kind of like just a really weird experience. And I was the only one on my team in there because it was still at a point where they weren't even 100% sure if they wanted people to come back to the office at all, and not until like March or so. And okay, so it's Saturday. It's going on 10 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 9:58 right now, and I'm getting ready to film 2 videos that I need for the rest of this week, since this vlog will be going out as well on Monday. So I'm filming my Wednesday and Friday videos. My mom and my dad are coming out to visit here. They'll be leaving their house at like 10:30, so they're going to be here like just after 11. So I got a little bit of time, so that's good. But boy, I have a lot of stuff today. I also have one package definitely getting delivered today, and I think maybe another one depending on how fast it can get here. But for sure one of them will be here today, which I'm very excited for, that I'll unbox with you guys later. But oh, I'm so excited. It's my Acorn and Crow order I placed back in August. I think I was talking about it earlier this week. It was for their 2-year anniversary sale, and I got a good chunk of stuff. Like, I got a couple notebooks, some bookmarks, that kind of stuff. So I'm very excited to show you guys when that comes in. But I haven't really done a ton of reading. I read a little bit yesterday. I'm not to my reading goal at all. Hey guys, hope I'm at a too weird of an angle, but I'm in the library right now. It's just after, gosh, what is it? 8:30 at night. I've had a very busy day. I'm going to be getting on a call with my friend here really soon, and I'm missing out on the Brandon Sanderson live show, but I've been out with my family for most of the day today after I finished filming and stuff, so it's been a busy day. But wanted to share a couple things with you. First of which being that I did go to a bookstore and I grabbed a couple things. I grabbed a copy of Shiver by Junji Ito. This is one of the collections of stories that Junji Ito wrote. I can see from right here, see I have Geo, Smashed, Tomie, and Uzumaki. I've only read Tomie as of yet, but I really like the work, and so I do want to collect pretty much everything I can of Junji Ito's, and so this is just adding on to that collection. I also grabbed the first volume of The Promised Neverland by Shirei. I don't quite know how to pronounce it. I apologize. But first novel in a manga series that I do believe is like a really crazy, like, fantasy. Like, it seems all well and good, and then, like, I've heard that things go really weird after a time. So excited to read this one. It's been kind of on that list of series I've been trying to collect to, like, start trying to read, or at least get the first one so that I can see if I like the style enough, if I like the story enough to want to continue. And then the only other thing I got was Orange, the first volume of the complete edition by Ichigo Takano. This, I've heard, is really good and is, like, a lot of people's favorite mangas, but it is very heartbreaking. I do believe there are mentions of suicide within this, so definitely look up some trigger warnings with this series in particular, but I have not been able to find the first volume of the complete collection anywhere, and I managed to find it today, so very happy with that. So I just grabbed those 3 at the bookstore today, just like a little independent one near where I was at the time. But I got another very exciting thing. I finally got my order from Acorn & Crow Studio, which is an Etsy store that I absolutely love. I've shown products from there before, and I need a pair of scissors. Or at the very least, when all else fails, I'm going to use my athame. So my athame is part of my altar stuff. You're not really supposed to use it for anything other than ritual practices, but I don't really care. It's the only thing I have that's sharp that I can use. So we're going to do that. But Acorn & Crow is basically a stationery and notebook company that the main owner of it, Fel, is like the prime creator of the content, and it's all so good. I've got so many things from them in the past, and back in August they were doing a 2-year anniversary sale because they've been in business for now 2 years. I have been waiting now for almost a month, which I was expecting. That was completely like okay with me because of the fact I knew they were going to end up having thousands of orders because they get so many orders any given day. So I was fine with waiting 3 to 4 weeks for it to arrive, but it actually ended up coming out. It got shipped, I think, early this week, and it got here within like 3 or 4 days. I'm excited about because it came from Colorado, which typically can be anywhere up to a week. But let's go ahead and open, which I hope I'm in frame of this. Oh, there's a little freebie. So we get a little freebie sticker, which is holographic and says harness your fears. This is one of my favorite designs that they've made. And there should be a card in there too, but comes all nicely wrapped with a sticker of their logo. You open it up and there's wormies! I love the wormies aspect of their entire like TikTok account. It's so much fun. I love these guys so much. They're so fun and chaotic and I love it. But they're these little paper worms, which are really easy to clean up. I know a lot of people don't like them, but it is what it is. You know, it's just kind of what you have to get over because it's fun, it's chaotic again, like I said, all that good stuff. But there's my receipt. There's a card in here, which I don't know what this would be exactly. Oh, okay. So there's... Okay, so it's got a couple of my stickers in here, but this is the thank you card that you get that matches the little freebie sticker, and it's got the information obviously on the back of it, and then I got a couple stickers here in this little packet because I forgot that I had got at least one sticker, and apparently I got an extra freebie sticker, which I'm not mad at. I love the fact that I got an extra freebie sticker. Like, that's awesome. But the sticker I did get is a very fun one that I thought was so cool when it was released. And it is a bottle of hot sauce. And it basically says spicy memory sauce made with 100% real trauma. Because I have a little bit of trauma in my life, if you didn't know. So I thought that was great. The thing I'm really excited for are these bookmarks I got. I got a couple bookmarks from them, which are so fun. I love them so much. I have a couple of them that you guys might have seen in the past. I have my red rose one. I have my sepia rose one. And I think I've got one more, and I don't remember which one it is. But I got in this order this beautiful, like, topaz one, I think it is. Let me see. According to my order slip, yes, this is the topaz birthstone with the blue ribbon. I don't even have a topaz, like, birthstone for me. I'm born in July, so I have a ruby. I think that's the other one I have is a ruby one. But I loved the design of this. I love the colors on it. It was so good. And we're going to do a quality assurance test, as they do on the TikTok account, in just a minute. But I also got a black tourmaline one that I thought was so beautiful. And black tourmaline is one of my favorite crystals ever. It is, like, my go-to for everything. And then I got the sapphire one, which is the birthstone for September, so I thought that that was very appropriate, and I just love the design of this. Like, they're so stinking pretty, but we're going to do a quality assurance test real quick. Oh, yeah. That's some good stuff. Adri, if you're watching this, I hope that that made you smile. Because Adri, who is one of my friends, for those of you guys that don't know, she's one of my co-hosts for the Battle of the Bookish. She loves this store just as much as I do. But I did get 2 of the notebooks as well in this, which I ended up getting the Rune Skull notebook, which is stunning. And if y'all don't know, I work in my practice with 2 Norse deities, and the runes are like a huge thing in the Norse pantheon and like just Norse culture in general. So this was absolutely stunning. I saw this on the website. I've been meaning to get it for a long time, and I figured, what the hell not? And then I got this one, which is a coffin that says "tired of your shit," because I'm always tired of my own shit. I'm always tired of my own stupidity and idiocy half the time. So why not have a reminder that the fact that I'm tired of my own shit? So yeah, that's just a little haul that I got from there. So I really only got the 1 sticker because that was the only one that I still had not gotten that I had wanted. But I am really happy to then also have, like I said, the thank you card with the Harness Your Fears design, because this is like my gothic dream right here. Like, I just love it so much. But that is everything I got for right now. I'm very happy with my purchase I made over a month ago. And I got 2 freebie stickers, which I was not expecting, but I love the fact that I have 2 freebie stickers. That makes me so happy. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be gone also for a little bit. I did have my mom request my presents back in their house because my mom is doing senior pictures for a friend of ours, and she just basically needs some help with moving backdrops and stuff like that because she still has some tenderness in her foot. For those of you that don't know, my mom injured herself a couple months ago and is still on the mend from that. And she's just not able to do the backdrops completely on her own. And so I'm going over tomorrow to help her out a little bit. I also got a couple pairs of shoes today because I did get an interview for this job that I'm going to be interviewing for on Monday. Anyway, I need to go back downstairs, and I will talk to all you guys sometime tomorrow to close out the vlog. Guys, so I'm running very late today on everything. I had to go to my mom and dad's house to help my mom with the photo shoot, and that went way longer than I was intending to. Mostly because we got done with the photo shoot, and then I went out with her to go check out a place that she was thinking about using for photos in the future, and then we went and grabbed drinks. I got a strawberry chai, which was really yummy, from Big Coffee, if you're from the more Midwestern area. It's just basically a chai tea latte with strawberry syrup. It literally tastes like a strawberry shortcake. I am not kidding. It is delicious. Highly recommend. But then as I was heading back, there were 3 accidents on the highway on my way home. And they were all pretty gnarly. Like, every single one of them was bad. But I finally got home just about in time for the discussion for God of Mercy that was on Brandie from Books with Brandie Shanae's channel, which was really fun. I really liked that book a lot, and I think we had a really good discussion about some of the themes that were involved with it. And then I just sat here while Princess is sprinting. Here I have shown up on my computer from Castle Library, and I just finished recording my podcast because I still had to do that. That was the one thing I forgot to do yesterday. But it's done now, and now I just gotta move all my files over, and then I still have to edit. I have done no editing yet today, and it's going on 5 o'clock. I am gonna be up so late tonight getting stuff done. But my hope is that at the very least, if I can get the videos edited, I can just wait until tomorrow to start uploading them while I'm working. Because I still have to also then edit the thumbnails and edit the podcast, and good lord, it's going to be a busy night. So I'm going to get started on that, but I wanted to close out this vlog. As of today, I did get to chapter 59 of A Court of Silver Flames. I'm on page 629 on this book, and I will be finishing this up tomorrow at the beginning of next week's vlog. So definitely check out that vlog for you guys that want to know my final thoughts on this, but I'm sure none of you are surprised at this point how much that I'm enjoying this. It is so fun. I'm really enjoying learning about Nesta so much more. And her and Cassian are just like, they're about as good as Feyre and Rhys. Like, they're not there yet, but they're like a real close second right now. And I love it. And then I haven't really made much progress in A Darker Shade of Magic. I still need to get through some more of that for my Finish Your DNF video, but it's been hard. I'm not gonna lie. This reading week has been really tough. It's been hard for me to get even to my goal for Court of Silver Flames, let alone read anything extra on top of that. It's been a very chaotic week for me. Next week, like I said, we're going to finish A Court of Silver Flames, and then I think next week we're moving on to Babel, which I'm super excited about, it's been one of my most anticipated reads of the entire year. It's been like at the top, #1, waiting for this to come out, and I can't wait. And I think too, we will then also at the weekend be starting up with the Brandon Sanderson 24-hour readathon, which will then require me to start The Way of Kings. I will basically be nearly done with Babel when the 24-hour readathon hits, and so I'll put it down for like a hot minute for the 24-hour readathon, and then finish Babel, and then go back to finishing up The Way of Kings starting next week. So that's very exciting. My camera very rudely cut out on me there because the battery died, but I was basically just about to go into my outro. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this video. If you guys did enjoy it, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already and you'd like to would like to see more content like this, go ahead and hit that button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye guys.